Hello again, folks, and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. I'm your Game Master Darius. You might notice that we're on the title screen, and there is a mod manager on the title screen. That is because I decided, screw it, I'm going to install the mod manager just for a couple of things, really. Not that I'm going to use it all that much. Console commands does not turn off achievements, because I like the achievements and whatnot. Disable friendly fire, although currently we don't have that many things that do friendly fire in the first place. Turn that off, that's freaking annoying. Selection circles color, I changed that to orange because I like orange. Let's see, what else did I turn on? Dialogue backer of the stuff, turn disabled, yes. Turned off the amount of times it will autosave. I've changed it so as it's before transitioning to a different thing. Also, you'll have noticed that sometimes when I click off the window, the game will go mute. I hate when that happens, so I've turned that off. The non-stealth detection penalty, I just feel like slows me down. So I'm just going to turn that off as well. Yeah, apparently there's a -4 penalty. You will still detect hidden objects, but you do so at a -4 penalty, but not in stealth, which is annoying, so I've turned that off. In addition, close that now. In addition, I went in and edited the files so that all the characters shall have the same experience points as my main character, because that has been an annoying thorn in my side. I know it hasn't mattered all that much when it comes to immediately leveling up, but I would hate to get to the later parts of the game only for it to be all like, oh hey, you leveled up. Except this guy. This guy didn't. Screw that guy. I changed a couple of just the base game settings. I've made it so as the window down here is one solid thing, about instead of, you know, revealing little bits of the thing. I always find that a little bit irritating. I won't lie. In many a video game, I think it started with Final Fantasy VIII for me, where the game interaction window, for lack of a better word, I suppose, is just the words on the background. I don't know. That's always bugged me a lot. Anywho. Last we left off, we had picked up a new companion in the Grieving Mother. I guess that's just her name. Gave her a fine hide armor. And I gave her a fine hunting bow. So she will hopefully be stupid good when it comes to that. Nope, not just silly goose. Villagers. They're named. Potions for sale, potions and ow. Oh.
Good day, stranger.
Young woman leans against the wagon. One arm and one side of her face are covered in bandages with raw rippled flesh showing underneath. A minty tangy scent wafts from her dressing. She smiles painfully. Just ventured into town? I'm about dry on some of my stocks. I don't know what that is. Weird. But you're welcome to have a look. Have a look-see. How'd you get burned? She knows her face to the ground. By the flame. How bad does it look? Terrible, I know. Looks like it hurts. That's a mighty soft way of putting it. I've been keeping an eye on Drake's Nest. On a Drake's Nest east of town at Direford Crossing. The beast stayed just long enough to lay a clutch and moved on. Thanks to Sky Mother, it wasn't a full-grown dragon. He looks at her bandaged arm and grimaces. Fresh eggs are much more useful than the ones that get passed between merchants or left in nests for weeks or more, and that clutch looked to be at its peak. Though thought I'd say about getting an egg, but I didn't realize so many of them had already hatched, or that young worms were so territorial. But what's so special about the eggs? They're one of the strongest tonics known to Kith. If you leave out Carol Golan, of course, but not saying anyone should take that. But dragon eggs are known to make Kith bold, purposeful. Some even think they'll protect from beelwax. All I know is someone's pining up after potions made from dragon eggs. The damn roads. Can't reach none of my suppliers, so I'm stuck with whatever I can scrounge up from the wood. Direcap, river reed, and the like. I could get an egg for you. Kind wayfarers. Hey. She keeps her gaze steady, but you see hope kindling in her eyes and twitching at the corners of her mouth. I was hoping you might. I heard the kind wayfarers are good with this sort of thing. She bites her lip. If you really mean to go after it, I'd certainly pay you. Just remember, big as they are, dragon eggs are fragile. There are a lot more I can do with a whole one.
Well met, friend.
Anything else I can do for you? I got some handy ointment if you're braving the roads anytime soon. I'm looking for an Orin named Nefir. You'd seen Orin lady heading to the Dracogen just the other day. Points down the road at the large building. Don't know what her name was, but she was acting really sneaky-like. But what's wrong with the roads? A noise of disgust rattles from her throat. Brigands, looters, you name it. The gods may be hollowing out our babies, but it's grown folk that's rubbing out the rest of us. People are scrambling to Defiance Bay because they hear there's healthy births there. And all those refugees in abandoned homes attract desperate sorts like flies on dog shit. Yeah, let's see what you got. Yeah, you just got ingredients. I like having ingredients. It's in my stash I can sell. Let's sell you. I'm probably not honestly going to use these extra battle axes, extra flails and whatnot, but hey. Fine hunting bow. Hold up. Back to the party for a second. Okay. I was thinking for a second, like, wait a moment. Is that better than the one that I currently have? We've already got a fine saber. I don't think anyone else is going to use a shield for the time being anyways. I can get rid of some of this fine hide. It's tempting to get rid of Aloth's stuff, if only because I feel like I don't want to use Aloth any further. I will not lie. I don't know. He's probably interesting, but I kind of like some of the other characters more. Let's see. Garnets, opals, white leaf. Well, let's trade these. Get all our money. Nest egg. India, an alchemist in Direford, has been having trouble getting supplies due to the brigands and refugees on the roads. She needs fresh ingredients for her potions. Said that there's an abandoned drake's nest near town. If she could get an egg from it, she'll be able to brew new potions. Get the dragon's egg. Alright, what was I going to look at? Inventory. Pardon me, goddamn. It's not even all that late. I just really had a day. Ooh, there's a good chance I'll get more Drake talons over there too. Sky Dragon Eye. Got a feeling that any of these ingredients are not going to be over there. That said, might as well double check for a topaz or two.
Gods keep you.
Show me your wares. Potions. Zarp tongues. Yeah, nah. I figured not, but it always doesn't hurt to look. Wonder what's in this house. I'm tempted to open another monster, but the way I'm yawning, I know that ain't gonna. Hi, sir. That's a nice chest that is trapped that you got there. Alright, they make it so as the NPCs that are backers aren't talk-toable. Or murderable, I guess. What are you all missing? It equals story time equals miss? Wait, is this because the friendly fire's on? Son of a bitch. 1 second. What is... give me a moment. I remembered a button. There we go. For some reason it's because the... I mean, I guess I understand the reason, but still. I loot now. Bitch. Is this considered a deceitful thing? Like... deceptive or cruel or whatnot. I don't have a single point in cruel, which is a little funny to me. Really? Alright. I mean... Alright. I guess in all reality, I don't mind that much. It was a backer thing anyways. Let me double check something really quick. I was doing recording stuff. There we go. Alright. Anyways. What else do we have to talk to? Because there's also...
Ugh, smells like my old hunting leathers.
Hello? Been missing for days. You can just barge into our homes. We told you she's not here. Oh, because they're looking for... What's her face? That's the tavern, right? The inn. Beckergen Inn. Elder Antelope Horn. Probably make something useful with that. I don't know. Okay, and now I really want to do the dragon hunting. Hi. Igrel? I love that I do get experience for exploring the area. Well, let her get back to the dice, take care of our customer. It's me, a customer.
Greetings.
30 broad-shouldered man wipes his hands on his slacks. He reeks of the same foul compound wafting from the vats, and his arms are stained with dye. Looking to purchase some leather? What's in the Claps Tower? Claps. Nothing. Rolls his eyes and shrugs. Few hides on stretching racks and a tallow stinged dinglers always grumbling about. The rest of the heaps dust, just like the foul lady they knew who tried to hold it. There's a bard at the inn who will tell you the whole blazing story if you want to hear it. Something else you need? Have you seen Nafir and Orlin from Defiance Bay? I made it a point to keep out of other people's business. Okay then. Oh, an exceptional dagger. With accuracy and plus 30 damage. Shit, that's tempting if only because, you know. Yes. 9 with a 25 instead. Girdle of Mortal Protection. That's a pretty good reduction. +1 endurance per 3 seconds. That'd be pretty worth it. Oh yeah, I meant to also sell all these freaking traps that I'm never going to use. They have their moments where they can be useful. However, I think save against that one dragon that we fought, yeah, wasn't much use. Not one for chit chat, human. Speak to Gil if you've got questions. Less I've got questions, the more I've got curiosities. Now I'm just suspicious of this guy maybe harboring this lady. Ah. No, I do quite like the bit of the mod that makes it so as I don't necessarily interact with any of the NPCs for backer stuff. I don't know. It's cool to see the names and whatnot of people who did support fillers back in the day. But man, there's so many of them. Yards. Or grass. Yeah, I guess she wouldn't have all too much of stuff that she can get for us. Up here, nowhere. There's no roads to supply her. Small ass town. Did I get into this building? I've not tried to get into this building. Mode. Man paces angrily in front of a wrecked animal pen, his son's weathered face twisted with ire, so wrapped up in his fury that he doesn't seem to notice you. Halloween slobbering beasts, blazing bloody effigy, rice damned salty wench in her soggy... What's wrong? That monster stole my pigs, traipsed into the village, tore down my pen, and made off with the whole damn herd. Just left a few little runts, and what am I supposed to do with that? Calm down, tell me what happened. Bites his lips and closes his eyes. His nostrils flare with each quick, angry breath. Wife's always telling me to mind my temper. Just breathe deep, count to 10. He sighs. An ogre moved into the area not long ago. Folk have been seeing glimpses and tracks out in the woods, but it seems to be staying away from town, or so we all thought until it made off with my pigs. Now everyone's afraid to go to develop a taste. It's going to develop a taste for kith, if it hasn't already. What do you mean to do now? I know it's too late to get my pigs back, but I'd set my mind at ease to see the thing's head shorn from its neck. In fact, you bring that ugly pate to me and I'll trade you for something that's of less use to a farmer like me than to a rowdy-looking sort like yourself. Well, what do you know about the ogre? Same as any other, I'm sure. Big, ugly son of a bitch with a nasty temper and an appetite to match. Feigl could tell you more. He claims to have seen it out in the woods, and find him in his shop right by the broken tower. Need something else? You've seen Orlin named Nephri? Never heard of her. Well, go find Ogre. Take revenge for pigs. I can't get into his house. This one I can't seem to, if only by... God, give me prices. Darn it. Yeah, they're pretty much just going around and all like, hey, seen this gal? Hey, seen this gal? Part of me is resisting going to the inn because I know that there might be something of relative import there. All the talkiness when I really just am in the mood to get back into some action. Yeah, just some veggies. Alright. Go into the inn, probably talk to like 5 or 6 million people. Or maybe I'm lucky, no, they're all villagers who have nothing interesting to say. Most of them are just villagers with nothing interesting to say.
Greetings.
A redhead stands by the fire, tuning her lute and plucking its strings. She hums snatches of a melody as she goes. First time at the Dracogen? Normally I'd have a song ready, but I haven't quite worked out this tune yet. I'm writing some chants about the founding of this inn. Say, you interested in the story? Haven't finished the chants, but I could tell you about it all the same. Sure. It was built at the time of Hadrit's rebellion. Adiran Lady Thanu once had a keep here. One of the towers still stands, but the rest is said to be buried under the village. Anyway, she stuck to the side of the empire, and a contingent of Duke Hadrit's knights of the Crucible helped the farmers and colonists in the area turn her keep to rubble. This inn was the first building that sprang up from the ruin, built with some of the same bricks the colonists had pulled from the Lady Thanu's castle, they say. Supposedly, the quarterstaff of her chief wizard even got lost in the construction, mortared into the wall or nailed under a floorboard. Anyways, the inn was supposed to be a haven as a meeting place while the locals built their new town. What do you mean, supposed to be? Direwoodins are an ordinary lot, and the more these new neighbors met, the more they argued. They realized they didn't argue on much beside ousting the old lord. Agree on much beside ousting the old lord. The biggest divide was over the Glanfathins and their nearby ruins. Hadrit's knights and their supporters wanted to keep the place, but a group of misfits with their anarchic leanings that had formed in town wanted to go after the tribes the same way they'd gone after their lord. Soon the villagers were fighting with each other as much as with the Adirans. In the end, memories of the Broken Stone War and the War of Black Trees were fresh enough that the Duke's soldiers won the day. Plus the other villagers came around eventually, but some of the core troublemakers left to join the front lines in the War of Defiance, and others, I've heard, found their way into the guild, the Guided Compass, the most forward-looking of the Glanfathin tribes. I don't know if I believe that part myself, but it's a good story. He points to the east wall. There's a portrait of some of the chief rabble-rousers and his rival in the peacekeeping faction. Someone's idea of a joke. I don't think they were particularly amused. Tell me about the Broken Stone War. That was the first major conflict between the original Adirian settlers and the Glanfathins. Happened 3 years into colonization when some farmers knocked over an Adra Minhir that was part of an Iguithan ruin. The war didn't last long, but it spread quickly and claimed thousands. In the early days, most of the colonists didn't even realize there was a war going on until the Glanfathin raiders hit their villages. There's been small, spontaneous skirmishes between the colonists and the locals before then, but this was organized. It was the start of decades of violence between the colonists and Glanfathins. As you can see, Dire was full of history, even in little villages like this. Tell me about the War of the Black Trees. It started back in the colonial days, about almost 30 years after the Broken Stone War. Even though isolated conflicts still broke out between the settlers and the Glanfathins, both sides had officially agreed to peace. Edrang Hadrit, Admith's father, was Gref at the time. As part of peace negotiations, he signed treaties prohibiting Adiran. I hate like 90% of these words, I swear. Adiran's colonists from looting Iguithan ruins. However, he'd been able to outlaw the use of captured Glanfathins as slaves. What's a Gref? A Gref is a governor of a colony and is subservient to the Adiran Empire. The early leaders of the Adir colony in the Direwood, including Edrang and Admith Hadret, were Grefs. At the start of the War of Defiance, Admeth Hadret declared himself Duke of an independent Direwood rather than Gref of the Empire's colony. It was the same term used for the leaders of newly appointed Valian republics. Anyways, we haven't had a Gref since. Alright. Indeed, the taking of Glenfathan slaves had continued to be a source of conflict. It came to a head when Imperial agents, aided by certain earls in the Direwood, began looting the ruins again. The Empire had never actually agreed to Hadreth's treaties on the matter, and the recent secession of the Valian republics likely left them eager to weaken Hadreth's position. The looting sparked a brutal slave uprising and a guerrilla campaign among the Glenfathans. Adren Hadrek was too old to lead forces into battle, and so he sent his son Admeth. Admeth made costly but effective decision that ended the war faster than anyone could have imagined. He burned the forest near the East Ian River. Developers of Pillars, there's such a thing as too much fantasy naming to keep the Glenfathans war bands from retreating. Thousands of Glenfathans died, and as Admeth repeated his scorched earth tactics in the following months, he wore down the remainder of their forces. To this day, over 150 years later, there are still sections of the Direwood where the trees are nothing but charred, bare trees. Good flippin' lord.
I just want to find her. Surely even you can understand that.
We're decent folk, my lord. Perhaps you should leave and check the wilds.
I see he's been productive. The portraits depicts a man and a woman dressed in Adir garb that would have been in the style of a century ago. The heavy frame has been battered, and the plate that once bore the patron's name has been scratched out. They share a passionate embrace, which seems at odds with the disgust on their faces. Alright then. Garden there. See, one of the things for this, for the backers' names, is the fantasy names. Yeah, no, I'd rather just use the no modifications for the fancy names at this point if they're just going to be asshats about it. With the naming conventions, but whatever. I got a feeling I don't want to talk to him just at the moment.
Hello!
The innkeeper digs into a mug with a dirty rag. His eyes under his thick brows are tired but watchful. He gives you a quick nod as you approach the bar. Don't see many travelers these days. Something I can do for you? What was your exchange with that nobleman about? Looks from polishing his tankard and glowers at the lord. Folk round here's decent. They mind their own business. Want to stick your nose in it? Go talk to him yourself. I have a question about Direford. Ask. Tell me about the village. Walk from one bridge to the next and you've seen it. We're quiet, hard-working folk. We keep to ourselves and don't take to being pushed around. There's at the well-dressed man standing off to the side. Used to be a castle here, built by some family of Adrian Thanes back when the Empire first came. Only one tower still standing. That part's of Frygil's shop now. Sid, that bard by the fire could spin you a yarn if you're so inclined. That you don't see many travelers. Of course not. Why would they come here? You got bandits on the road and an ogre in the forest, as that yapping fool Rumdal tell you. Worse yet, haven't seen a healthy kid born here in over a year. Most kith that come here is just passing through. Who lives in Direwood Ford? Not many anymore. Hard to keep people around when everyone here is birthed in Hollowborn. Well, we got a few who stick around and do business. Frygil's a leather carrier, and Indina crafts potions, and Winfrith trades in general goods. Rumbald's a pig farmer, or was anyways. What's Undina's story? Lady's a clever hand with potions of poultices. Got herself into trouble with a nest of worms or so I hear. Carts on the east side of town. Winfrith? Been around here longer even than I have. Nice enough fellow, but could never find his way to the end of a sentence. Shops around the square. What about Trigel? He's a courier. Trades leathers and makes armors and a few other goods with it. Problem is, the smell of tallow and deer shit tends to put people off their food, and his shop's right next door. Something happened to Rumbald's pigs, I take it? Damn ogre carried them off. Now he's squealing more than his herd ever did. Rotten luck. Let's go back to the previous questions. About that ogre. Don't hardly see him this close to town. Ogres and kith don't mix well. Ugly bastards, but they're smart enough to know that much. If you want to know more, talk to Rumbald. His farm's southwest of here. Yeah, I got a feeling I'm not going to get much about Nefir. Room's food. Dragon egg. Jesus. What? That's 3 resolve for 6 seconds. 6 seconds. 6 minutes. I suppose this is as good of a time, depending on who was back here. Booze. What are you doing in the kitchen? Dingler will get you sorted out with food and drink.
Sure.
Fair enough. Oh. I already got a feeling I don't want to talk to the noble just so as he's a ginormous jackass. Nobility tends to be that.